Okay, so I asked Mike what he wanted for dinner. We were gonna go out for dinner, but then he said that my Cajun sausage chicken pasta sounded good, and honestly, that's one of my favorite meals. And I'm gonna show you how to make it. I got inspired by Tasty's recipes, so I'm taking inspiration from them, but I've done this so many times that I just kind of have put my own spin on it, and I don't use heavy cream in mine, and it's fine. So I bought 2 chicken breasts. I ended up cutting up one breast really small in smaller pieces because normally the pieces I cut are a little bit larger, but with pasta I just think it's better when it's cut smaller, and I don't feel like we need 2 breasts, especially when we add the turkey sausage in. So the Tasty recipe calls for, I believe, what's it called? It's not kielbasa, andouille sort of sausage, like a sliced sausage. I prefer just Italian sausage, and this is actually turkey Italian sausage. I found this at my Walmart, and it's been like my most favorite thing in the world. It's a nice switch up from chicken and beef. I don't eat a ton of red meat unless I'm out and get like a steak. I don't really cook red meat all that often or eat red meat, but I was so happy to see these because I love Italian sausage. I actually don't eat a lot. The main source of protein I eat is turkey and chicken, like ground turkey, ground chicken, chicken breast, turkey bacon. These taste extremely similar to regular mild Italian sausages, and there's for 2 sausages 130 calories, 20 grams of protein, so really amazing, and you really can't beat the flavor. So the most fattening part of this dish, when I looked up the recipe, was obviously the regular pork sausage, because pork has a lot of fat and it's not the best for you, and then the heavy cream that you add to it. I don't add heavy cream. The main like sauce is actually chicken stock. So I'll show you how to make it. In this bowl of chicken, I'm just going to take my Tony's Creole seasoning. You can use Slap Your Mama. For my Canadians, I get this whenever I go to the US. I just get it at Target. It's like literally $3 and it's the best seasoning ever. It's where most of the flavoring comes from in like gumbo and in this pasta. I'm just going to sprinkle enough on to coat. It is salty, but again, this is like the main source of salt and seasoning in the dish. If you're vegan, or you don't eat meat, I'm sure you could do this with, I don't know how it would taste, but I'm sure that you could use tofu or tempeh, whatever you want, and the seasoning, and I think they must have vegan sausages. So you can do pretty much the same thing, just do your vegan thing with it. I'm not vegan, but you can do your little vegan spin. It's not my business what you put in your mouth. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of olive oil just to coat it. I really don't want to add too much oil. And I'll let this marinate. The next things you're going to need are 1 bell pepper of your choice. This is like barely hanging on, so I'm just using it. Normally I like to use red or green, or like half a red, half a green, but since I only have orange, I want to use up what I have. You're going to need a few cloves of garlic, and then 1 yellow onion. And this is my favorite tool for cooking with garlic. I don't like to chop garlic. I don't like garlic presses. This is great. It's a multi-purpose tool in the kitchen. I got it at Walmart. It's like $8. I like to grate the garlic. I use this to grate cheese. It's just honestly a really great tool. So one of my kitchen favorites. So I like to just cut the peppers in strips and then cut the strips in half so that they're easier to, twirl onto your fork. The next thing that I'm doing is I'm preheating this pan. I don't know what this pan would be called, but it's very deep. I mean, you can find these at Winners, TJ Maxx, Home Goods. They're one of my favorite things. They're so easy to cook in, especially for this pasta because it's a one-pot thing. Like, you're not boiling the pasta. And for the pasta, I'm using linguine. I think it goes really well with it. So now that the oil is heating up, I just use maybe a teaspoon of the oil. I'm just going to go ahead and pour in my vegetables. So something that I want to add is I did take off the casing for the sausage just because I like the way it cooks better. All I did is like slide my knife down a part of the sausage and peeled off the casing, and then you have no more casing. I forgot to mention this, but literally this is like the most universally liked meal. No matter who I make it for, they love it. Another thing that you should know is that you need a pot that has a cover. So this is the brand of the one I have, the Molino, New York, I think. Il Molino. I'll try and find a link, but because you're gonna cover it and like cook the pasta in this, so I'm just letting it heat up a little bit before adding in the meat. Once your vegetables have started to sweat a little bit, then is when I go ahead and put in the meat. So it is coming along nicely. It would look a lot prettier if the peppers weren't yellow, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the pasta I'm using because I'm using linguine, but you can really use, oh, it's all fogging up now. You can really use any pasta you have on hand. I've done this with penne, I've done this with spaghetti, I've done this with a bunch of different pastas. You can even do a whole bunch of pastas and just use up what you have in your pantry. And then I also just grated up around this much freshly grated Parmesan. The recipe calls for freshly grated Parmesan, and I like to get a little color because after this stage there's no color, but the recipe calls for freshly grated Parmesan and heavy cream, but I truthfully think you only need the heavy cream, and you're fine. So now that this has developed nice color, I'm going to put in pasta, and I'll show you how I do that right now, but it's hard to do with one hand and I don't have an assistant right now. You just take your dry pasta of your choice, and I broke mine in half, and then you just want to take your chicken stock or vegetable stock if you're going vegan or vegetarian, and you just want to pour it over. You're really not going to think this is going to work. At least I really didn't think it was going to work my first couple of times, but it will. So I'm just using 1 carton of chicken stock to start. If I need, I can add water. You just want to mix up your pasta. I swear this looks like insane, but it works and it's miraculous. So you just want to mix up your pasta and then turn. Okay, it looks so bad, but guys, just trust me, okay? You just want to mix up the pasta into the broth, and then bring it up to a boil, and then cover. And voila! After like 10 minutes, I know people are gonna get really scared about this. After like 10 minutes, you have a beautiful pasta dish almost ready. So I'm multitasking. I was posting our new Ariel choker online, and then I was like, oh no, I have dinner on the stove, but I'm multitasking. So I'm gonna taste it. It tastes so good already, perfectly like al dente. Now I'm just gonna put in the cheese. Alright, so there you go. If there's a little extra juice at the bottom, it's really not a big deal. It kind of solidifies a little bit once it cools down. These make great leftovers also, but how easy was that? Literally 1 pot. Such easy cleanup too. So that's what's for dinner. Tastes amazing. And there we go. Dinner is served. I just put a little bit of shaved Parmesan on top because it never hurt nobody. Honestly, I've made this with cream the first couple of times, and I really don't think there's that big of a difference, so you might as well save some calories and use extra Parmesan cheese.